مرحبا شباب، يعطيكم العافية. إن شاء الله اليوم راح نبدأ بتسجيل المحاضرات تبعات Introduction to Computer Science. بشكل عام إحنا في عنا السيلبس وكلياتنا راح نلتزم فيها، وبنفس الوقت السيلبس بتفرجي لكل واحد فينا شو التوبكس راح نغطيها during the semester، وبتساعدنا إنه نمشي على الستبس تبعاتنا أو على الشغل تبعنا one by one. أول شيء أنا اسمي عمار عودة، المنسق لهاي المادة، وإن شاء الله عز وجل إنه يكون هذا فصل جيد على الجميع، وإن شاء الله إنه بيكون simple مش complicated وبتقدر تجيب علامة إن شاء الله كويسة بهاي المادة. بتمنى منك الاجتهاد، متابعة المحاضرات مع دكتورك، وبنفس الوقت إنك تطلع على السيلبس اللي راح نغطيه. So first of all, the course is Introduction to Computer Science, and the course code is 11102 CS, which is belong to the Computer Science department. And at this course, we will cover the introduction about the computer science in the first chapter. Then we will go to the data representation, low-level representation, and we will discuss the different numbering system like binary, hexadecimal, octal, and how to convert from one numbering system to another. Okay. Then we will cover problem solving through analysis, then through introduction of the programming language. This is 3 credit hours, and there is no prerequisite for this course. And this course is required for all the students at the King Hussein College for Computing Science. And our textbooks is Foundations of Computer Science, the 4th edition or 5th, and so on. And the second book is starting out the programming logic, okay, and design. So we will cover chapter 1, which is introduction, chapter 2, numbering system, chapter 3, data storage, chapter 4, chapter 5, computer organization. Then we're going to have first or midterm exam based on the rules. And then we will cover chapter 6, which is computer networks and internet, chapter 7, software engineering, and chapter 8, security. And then we will going to start with chapter 9 from the second book, which is the starting out the programming logic and design. Okay, so we will cover the introduction to problem solving, input processing and output. Chapter 10, which is one way, decision structure and Boolean logic. Two-way and multi-way, which is if, else, and so on, and nested if. In chapter 11, repetition structure, 2 chapters. Then we're going to talk about the nested loop. Then we're going to make a revision for the whole courses, and the exam week is the last week. This is our CLOs for this course, and all the CLOs is related to the ABET accreditation. So AT belongs to the ABET accreditation. We're going to have some kind of assignment, quizzes, and also exams. Okay. And this is the evaluation process for the student. We're going to talk about the activities, first and second, and the final exam. And today we're going to start about the first chapter. So first chapter is introduction for this topic, and it consists of the following objectives with the students. At this chapter, we will discuss the Turing model and the Von Neumann model. Then we will describe the main 3 components of computer, which is hardware, data, and software. Okay, so Turing model, the idea started at 1936, and Turing believed that the model of the computer on the action of the people to perform when involved in computation, and that actions in the model is abstracted by using our computational machine, which is going to be change the whole of the world. And here is the YouTube video describe the Von Neumann model and the Turing model. And both of them represent the basic of the mechanical Turing machine and how it's work. It's not required for us right now, but I believe it's going to add some value to understanding the Turing model for the students. Okay, so the Turing model, we talk about the machine as a definition. So the computer is represent a black box. لما بنحكي شباب black box, that's meaning we have inputs and the black box is going to be process that input and generate the output. Okay, so هنا راح نشوف declaration صغير انه الكمبيوتر is act as a black box, and that black box will accept input data, then process that data, and then generate the output. In figure 1.1 we explain this point. خلينا نشوف figure 1.1. This is a black box which is computer, and here is the input for that computer, and the output will be the processed data. Sometimes you will say data processing information. Okay, عشان نفهم شو هاي الفكرة بشكل بسيط خلينا نعمل زي هيك. عندي أنا هذا هو البلاك بوكس اللي هو الكمبيوتر، وخلينا نفترض إنه عبارة عن كالكوليتر. So الانبوت داتا تبعتك كانت عبارة عن 2 input which is a 3 and 4, and you press on a plus notation. In other words, you would like to find out the sum of 3 plus 4. So this is the data, and the computer will do some processing process, and then the output will be 7. هلا هذا اللي احنا بنسويه هو عباره عن الكمبيوتر. شو صار جوا؟ هل تحول الثلاث لباينري والاربعه لباينري؟ 2's complement, first complement and so on. وشو صار هون بروسيس؟ هذا بالنسبه لي احنا بنسميه، ما دام ما بعرفه بنسميه البلاك بوكس. اوكي، عشان هيك بالديفينيشن الاول لما حكى لي عن الكمبيوتر let we assume the computer as a black box, and then that black box will receive the data from the user, process that data, and then generate the output. اوكي، واعطاني اكزامبل عليها الكالكوليتر. اوكي، تورينج موديل هو عباره عن موديل بيعمل جنرال بيربوس للكمبيوتر، وهذا الكمبيوتر عرف مصطلح جديد سمى البروجرام. اوكي، فلو اجاني سؤال بالامتحان قال لي define the program، بحكي له البروجرام بشكل اساسي هو عباره عن set of instruction that tells computer what to do with data. So تعريف كلمة بروجرام، برنامج أو algorithms أو أي شيء بدك إياه، هي عبارة عن set of instruction، مجموعة من العبارات، مجموعة من الorders that tells the computer what to do with the data. هاي بشكل بسيط شو معنى كلمة بروجرام، وشو معنى كلمة التورينج موديل اللي أعطاني general purpose of the computer. So هذا الماشين، هذا البلاك بوكس، إذا ما كان عليه بروجرام بيساعدني في عملية معالجة البيانات، معناته هو عبارة عن hardware without any value. And here we explain different types of program. For example, we talk about the sorting program. And the sort means ترتيب عناصر دخلت عندي. فlet we assume that هاي العناصر هي عبارة عن integer number, and we would like to sort this data. By the way, there is a different types of sorting algorithm, sorting program. واحدة على سبيل المثال منهم بسموها البابل سورت، اوكي؟ اللي هو بيعمل عملية مقارنة بين الرقم و at the end of the story باخذ أكبر رقم بصير آخر رقم، زي اللي عندنا هون. اوكي؟ 14 أكبر من 6 true بيعمل عملية سواب. اوكي؟ 14 اكبر من 8 ترو بيعمل عمليه سواب، 14 اكبر من 12 ترو بيعمل عمليه سواب، سو ال 14 بتصير اخر عنصر. اوكي؟ وبتضل هاي تتكرر لحد ما تصير كل العناصر عندي sorted سواء كان ascending او descending. هذا البروجرام، هذا السورت هو عباره عن بروجرام. كيف عمل عمليه السورت؟ هي عباره عن set of instructions that tells computer what to do about the data. شو يسوي بهاي الداتا؟ على هذا المبدا صار عندنا اكثر من انواع من انواع البروجرام. في عندنا بروجرام بيعمل عمليه سورتنج، في عندنا بروجرام بيعمل عمليه اديشن، في عندنا بروجرام بيعمل عمليه سمولست، يعني بيطلع لي اصغر رقم عندي بالبيانات اللي عندنا كلها. فهي الفكره في عمليه انه same data وفي عندي different programs based on your call. بناء على انت شو بتطلب the program will generate the output. So here you call the program called sort. So the received data is 3, 12, 8, 22. He will generate a sorted data or sorted information. But at the second stage, this one, you call a program called add. Add will collect all the data and then find out the result of the addition, which is 45. In the second stage, we talk about, or we call a program called find smallest that receive the 4 inputs and then find out the smallest value. هلا معناته البروجرام هو عباره عن set of instruction. البروجرامر بكتب الكود والكود هذا بيستقبل data to generate the output based on the programmer requirement. شو الريكويرمنت اللي حطها او specification اللي حطها البروجرامر، البرنامج راح يعطيني هاي الداتا. هلا تورينج ماشين تقدر تعمل اي computational اذا انت اخترت البرنامج الصحيح. if the program is provided. اوكي؟ وهذا هو الديسكربشن لهذا التورينج ماشين سيستم. اوكي؟ فعلى هذا الاساس كان عندنا فكره شو معنى كلمه التورينج سيستم. اوكي؟ فالفكره فينا انه اليونيفرسال تورينج ماشين is capable of computing anything that is computable. اي شيء بيقدر انه يجمعه. اوكي؟ الموديل الثاني المطلوب منا بهاي الماده اللي هو عباره عن فان نيومان موديل. وفان نيومان موديل هو عباره عن تعريف حاول انه يبني بناء على التورينج يونيفرسال ماشين. اوكي؟ وفان نيومان موديل حكى انه البروجرام والداتا هم لوجيكلي ذا سيم. يعني معنى اخر الداتا اللي انا بتخزن عندي البروجرام بتخزن عندي هم almost the same. So I will store it in the same memory and based on the call I will call based on the requirement or the request from the user. Okay? So Van Neumann model قدم تعريف انه the program and the data are logically the same. So the programs should also be stored in the memory of the computer. Okay? هذه فكره الفان نيومان موديل. وعلى هذا الاساس حكى لي انه الكمبيوتر بفان نيومان consists of 4 hardware or subsystem. The first one is called memory. Okay? And we represent it here. And the second component is ALU, arithmetic and logic units. وكل component هون is responsible for a specific task. And the control units and the out layer is the input and output units. Okay, so هذا هو تعريف الكمبيوتر بالنسبه لفان نيومان موديل. اوكي، فان نيومان موديل حكينا انه عبر عن انه الداتا والبروجرام هم logically the same, and this is the 4 component for the system. And then the storage program concepts in Van Neumann model with architecture, and the data will be stored in the memory, and all the data and the program will be represented in binary pattern, and that binary pattern gonna be stored as zeros and one, and this is the main reason why we call it binary. Okay, so how the instruction, as we define the program is a set of instruction that tells computer what to do with the data. So Van Neumann model حكى لي إن الكمبيوتر consists of 4 components: control units and memory, and also this ALU, arithmetic logic unit, and outsider وبالخارج عندنا الانبوت والاوتبوت units. So the control unit is responsible to fetch one instruction from memory. ليش one instruction؟ لأنه بالعادة إحنا بنتعامل مع instruction as a sequential execution، وهو عبارة عن الفيرست initial requirement اللي حطها فان نيومان موديل بالشغل تبعه. And then we will decode that instruction. الانستراكشن بتكون عبارة عن عملية add A B, and we supposed to decode this instruction to binary pattern 0 and 1. Then we can execute it. And in our book we said fetch, decode, execute, then we will store it again to the memory. So one instruction may be request from the control unit to jump to some previous or following instruction. Okay, but this does not mean that instructions are not executed sequentially. Okay, لأنه البروجرام هو بيحكي للكمبيوتر what to do. ففعليا احنا مرات الانستراكشن عندنا ممكن تكون بتخليني ارجع لل previous instruction or the next one. But all in all, this is kind of sequential process. Okay, هاي الفكرة تبعت Van Neumann model, and this is very important point, which is instruction cycle. The first step, we will fetch the data from the memory, then that data will decode it and send it to the ALU. ALU will receive the data, then the output will be stored in the memory. If we have further processing, we're gonna continue this process. راح تحكي لي وين further processing? Let me assume by this way we have 3. Let me take this one. خلينا نفترض انه عندي معادله بهذا الشكل 3 plus 2 multiplied by 5. So الانستراكشن تبعتنا اللي هي راح تكون عباره عن multiply 2 by 5, then add the output to the to 3, and then show or display the result. So the CU will fetch 2 multiplied by 3, 2 multiplied by 5. Then it will be decoded to 0, 1, 0, 1, and so on. Then send it to ALU. ALU, based on the code, will decide to multiply and find out the result, which is 10. That 10 will be go to the memory. Then we will fetch again the output here, which is 10 plus 3. So CU control unit will do the same process. هذا اللي انت شايفه اللي هو السي يو والاي يو والميموري in future راح نناديها سي بي يو Central Processing Units. اوكي هاي بشكل بسيط ليش الانستراكشن عندنا بتصير وكيف الانستراكشن فيتش راح تشتغل. So the computer component, mainly computer, consists of 3 components at all. So what about the previous one? The previous one is just the computer hardware components. So the computer consists mainly of 3 components: the hardware, the software, and the data. Or you can say hardware and software. Computer hardware, okay, consists of memory, input, output, and different hardware you can use it. And the data, based on the Von Neumann model, okay, it's kind of the information. You're gonna process that information and result the output. The last one is the software, and the software nowadays is more advanced than the previous one, but all the software is gonna deal with the 0, 1, okay, 1 for on and 0 for off, and the programming was therefore a task done by an operator or engineer before the actual data processing begin. So this is a representation for the memory which save or store data and the program, and we said the program and data are logically the same. And if we assume this kind of program, and the program is set of instruction 1, 2, 3, 4, that tells computer what to do with the data. So the first step, we're gonna input the data, then I'll input the first number, input the second number, add 2 integers together, store it in memory, then show the result or output the result. This is kind of systematic way. By this way, the computer can execute the program smoothly without any mistake. Okay, and this is the end of this chapter. By the way, I would like to share with you the same thing, the book we have at this part. This is the book which is from Cengage, okay? And here is the component of the book. And at this chapter, we mainly cover Turing model, Von Neumann model, and component of the computer, which is hardware, data, and software, and some topics related to the hardware, software, and so on. But about the history, it's excluded. It's not with us. So we don't need it at the current time. And here is the Turing model, which is represented already in the slide. And it's called single purpose computing machine. Then we show to you the component and the program and different types of program for sorting, for find smallest, and addition process. And here is the Von Neumann model, which consists of 4 components. And we talk about ALU, memory, CU, and the input and output. Then we describe the relation between the hardware and the data, and how the Von Neumann introduced the storing process for the data, and how the data gonna be converted to 0, 1. But already we're gonna describe this in chapter 3 and in chapter 4. So in chapter 4 and 3, we're gonna go deep and deep about this type. Sequence of instruction, this is the declaration of the program, and as we state, the program is a set of instruction that tells computer what to do. In chapter 8, we will cover the algorithms, and the algorithms is very important when we talk about the computer science. And in chapter 9 and 11, we're going to talk about different programming language. At the current time, we will cover, or this course, we will cover the C programming language. Okay. Regarding the history, is not required from you, so please, no need to take a look on it, and that's all thing. But it's very important for us to keep in our mind different kind of key terms. We use it at this chapter, like algorithm, arithmetic logic units, computer language, control unit, data process. And also the summary is very important for us to summarize this chapter. And then you're going to find some kind of questions, like review questions. And I believe these questions will improve the skills for the student and understand the whole of the chapter. What's the responsible of ALU? What's the function of CU? And so on. Okay. This is the main part of this chapter, and thank you so much.